Hey everyone, Alan Schimmel, DevOps.com and DevOps TV, here from IBM's InterConnect 2017 on the show floor at Mandalay Bay, joined by a frequent guest of DevOps.com, Raghunath Raman of Kaiser-Permanente.
Very happy
Raghu,
to be
how
here.
are you?
Very happy to be here.
Very
Hi,
happy
everybody.
to have you
Yes.
here. So Raghu, we've only spoken, I don't know, a dozen times or
Yes.
so, and but we always learn something new as we peel the layers of the onion back, so to speak. And speaking before we went on camera today, you were telling me about some of the strategic initiatives you're pursuing over at Kaiser. And of course, like many organizations, cloud migration is a big part of it,
Yes.
right? We're moving more and more to a cloud infrastructure.
Yes.
And that brought up the whole reason of, well, why would you want to do that? To do more faster. But also, how do you do that? Right? Is DevOps a necessary requirement or prerequisite for making this cloud migration successful? Right? We don't want to move to the cloud for cloud's sake alone.
Yeah, I think the way I would phrase it, the first part of it is cloud is very strategic for Kaiser. We definitely, as an organization, want to get out of the data center business and move to the cloud. So that's one thing. The amount of sunk cost in inventory and management and all of that is expensive. So we want to get out to the cloud. But to the second point of saying, is DevOps a prerequisite? I think DevOps satisfies a certain set of criteria saying we want to do DevOps because of speed to market, a speed to deliver functionality. In a multi-speed IT with a lot of demand happening, you need DevOps. That DevOps is necessary whether you're on-prem or the cloud. Going to the cloud will solve certain problems, but if you have DevOps done, migration to the cloud is much faster and will enable you to get the benefits. It's not one or the other. I think it's a win-win if you do both. And you probably would be better off investing in DevOps to have your processes and automation and the culture set so that then you can go to the cloud and say, I can now realize the value of saying infrastructure is also a service.
Right.
Rather than do that, I've solved the infrastructure problem, but have not solved the delivery problem. So it's a combination.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great way of looking at it. It's not one or the other.
Yeah.
It's not one. They're inextricably linked like this.
Very linked. Very linked.
And to leverage one, you almost need the other.
Yes. And for Kaiser, which is definitely a multi-speed IT, we want to have DevOps done well so that pieces of the infrastructure can go to the cloud and there you still have the automation to orchestrate what you need to do.
Got it. And of course, Raghu, you're presenting here today.
Yep.
Or
Tomorrow,
actually.
yes.
And why don't you give our audience a little preview?
Sure. I think the topic tomorrow is on enterprise DevOps. We have focused a lot on DevOps within the digital arena, which is consumer and member facing. But enterprise takes it to a different level of saying, what do you do beyond the small sphere of digital delivery and APIs and services? And quoting some of the things that Gene Kim has said about quality, what are the systemic problems that we encounter in IT, saying how do we plan to address it and what is it that we need to do? I think it's a journey to say how does an enterprise truly move to DevOps versus saying one project or one section or one set of groups do that. So that's the focus of tomorrow's discussion.
Excellent. And speaking of enterprise, I showed you this little booklet we just released out here today about 10 tips to start scaling DevOps to the enterprise. And of course, you're featured in it pretty prominently, as usual. And thank you for doing that. We'll put the link to it. So Raghu, though, so this is a big strategic initiative for Kaiser.
Yes.
How top-down support, which is again one of the tips in here, right? How do you're a leader at Kaiser, but you have to deal with executives above. How do you engage them into
I think it's
support?
I think Kaiser, we have been very fortunate with leadership that has recognized the value of both DevOps and the cloud. I mean, we have different leaders championing both those initiatives so all groups can converge towards that. But there's a very strategic push to saying we need to do this together. And how do we remove obstacles for adoption? How do we remove things that make that happen? So when you have that executive sponsorship as well as money coming along with it and resources coming along with it, then it becomes easy for teams to start getting on that and going towards it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Raghu, you've become quite a DevOps celebrity in your own right.
Yes.
We see you always here. Other events, Gene Kim's,
Yep.
and so forth. Where do you think the, and I don't mean at Kaiser now, I mean in general, what do you think is next for DevOps?
I think the proliferation is going to continue to a point where they won't say, "Oh, DevOps, you need to do DevOps."
You just do it like you
just
need to
do
breathe.
it. Nobody says, "Oh, you do coding."
Right.
Oh, you do testing.
Well, you're a software company.
Yeah. Right.
We're all software companies.
The pattern in which you build software and you automate and test is going to be common, where nobody's saying you're going to embark on an initiative called DevOps. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And once we reach that, the entire industry moves to that platform, the speed at which delivery will happen to members or any enterprise or anything is going to change. It's no longer a startup. Any company or a large enterprise that adopts it is going to survive and be able to weather storms. People are going to be able to adapt easier. I mean, change is going to come. How quickly can you adapt?
Sure.
And DevOps is going to give an edge to enterprises, saying, I'll be able to adapt to changing market conditions with IT as a support.
Right.
Otherwise, it's a disjointed process.
Understood. Well, Raghu, thank you so much for being our guest here today.
Thank you. Thank you for
looking
having
forward
me.
to your presentation tomorrow. And also, we speak pretty
Yes.
frequently. We'll have you on maybe a webinar or a Google
Yes,
Hangout
absolutely.
soon.
Would love that.
They don't call them Google Hangouts anymore. YouTube Live
Yes.
soon, and we'll find out how this new migration is going.
Absolutely.
At
We'd be
Kaiser.
happy to share. Yeah.
Raghunath Raman, Kaiser-Permanente. This is Alan Schimmel for DevOps.com at InterConnect 2017.